Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 671 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. I should probably check that, make sure that's actually the number.
Oh, well,
It is
anyways, yeah, I'm
671. Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
doing
We're professionals, people. I swear.
absolutely. Oh man, yeah, I'm doing fine. Oh, just got off of the week back from work and stuff, and then obviously now I'm going on another week off and stuff because that's just how the scheduled thing has been worked out in my favor. Uh, but otherwise and stuff, yeah, the week's been pretty busy. I did acquire my Switch 2 this past week, and let me tell you, it was a pretty funny experience. So leading up to like the night before and stuff, I've been hearing about people getting their pre-orders all canceled like a day before and this and that. So it kind of had me a little bit daunted a little bit, but I kept getting like emails from the Walmart app and stuff. Oh, you got to change your payment method. You have to just make sure to confirm your address and everything. And I did all that. Everything else went fine. The day of the launch, that was the what was it, Thursday. I wake up a little bit before 5 o'clock. I go to the bath. I go to the bathroom, about to head to bed because I want to be up by at least 7. And all of a sudden, I get my phone just starts going off, and I check out my phone. I'm like, okay, well, this is the thing for the Walmart thing. It's like, oh yeah, the ETA is like 5:55. Oh, okay, now it's delivered. Like, what? And all of a sudden, I check the picture on my app, and I see that it's like such and such is dressed as to drop this off. And so I see it's like right in the front of my front door, right by my fence. But oh no, yeah, I obviously I got so excited. I went out my front door, unlocked my gate, get my thing, and get the thing, get my Switch 2 back inside the thing. And then I realized as soon as I did that, I was like, well, I ain't wearing any pants. I was so I was so eager to freaking get my Switch 2 and make sure nobody fucking stole that thing because my neighborhood's pretty hot when it comes to people trying to porch pirate shit. And so I'm like, well, I want to try to get this thing as quickly as possible. And so I totally forgot the first thing I can do. But luckily, there was no one around. Nobody saw anything. And so I ended up doing that. I set up my Switch 2 right before I left for work. Everything got downloaded and stuff, Mario Kart World and this and that. Later on that night, I had a chance to at least play a couple hours of that. And other than that, man, I've just been enjoying bits of the gaming news that's also been coming out of the Summer's Games Fest and stuff, the Sony's State of Play, everything else. But yeah, how have things been for you, Tyler?
I'm doing much better now after that story. Gable just out there in his tidy whities. Uh, with thing he does, Gable doesn't tell you is he lives next door to an elementary school. Anyway,
No, I don't. Oh, that would be 10 times worse.
Gable, I almost like Gable's doing a spit take. Oh man. Oh god.
Oh
No,
man,
I'm
that
doing.
that that would be bad, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, that was funny. Uh, No, I'm doing all right. Doing fantastic now after that. Yeah, it was mine was kind of the same, but I have to be at work at like 6:30, so I got the text messages while I was at work at like 7 o'clock. It's out for delivery. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like 4 minutes later, it's your package is nearly there. I'm like, what? And then I get a text like 7:08, your package is delivered. I'm like, oh my god, I have all my mail, my packages go to my parents' house, so I don't have to like I don't want to go to my apartment. We have issues at my apartment with like things getting misdelivered to the wrong buildings or just stolen whatever. So I text my same thing. I look at the picture. It's on the front step right there, and I text my sister. I'm like, my sister just so happened to be home, and I was just like, I'm so sorry for texting you this early because she works late and sleeps in. I'm like, can you please grab? Because I had two Switch twos sitting out there, and I'm like, can you please grab these? And she like texts me. She's like, I got them. I'm like, thank God. So I sent her some money for a coffee because I woke her up so early. But yeah, so I got those. It was funny though. I mean, unfortunately, it made for a very long day on Thursday. Where like man, like my
I
Switch Two
heard
was
that.
just right there, and I could like man, I just want like man, I was like starting to freak out. If my sister didn't text me back, I'm like, all right, like I can run home. Like I could run over there real fast. Like I live, it's like my work is like 5 minutes away from my parents' house. I can just go grab it, throw it inside real fast, leave. But I'm like, all right. But luckily she texts me back, and then I have that one sold to a friend of hers was buying the second one, which I have 3 pre-ordered. One coming from Best Buy, 2 from Walmart, but only one was the Mario Kart bundle. So the Mario Kart bundle I had sold to my sister's friend stuff and their boyfriend. So I sold that one. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, cause the Best Buy one I bought, because I bought the Best Buy one I was able to order first. But I had to buy I bought one of the bundle things they did. So it was came with a physical copy of Mario Kart instead of a digital copy. So it was a regular Mario Kart or the regular Switch 2 with but a physical copy. So I'm like, whatever, that's fine. So that was the one I was gonna keep. And then the Best Buy one didn't ship until Thursday.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I'm like whatever. But all right, I'll just keep the other Walmart one. Not a big deal because the third Switch I had planned to sell to somebody, and then that kind of fell through. So I'm like, all right, well I'll just take this one then. And then then I got the Best Buy one on Friday, but the fucking Mario Kart didn't ship until Friday. So I'm like, God damn it. So I got this thing, I got it all set up on Thursday night after work. I got it all ready to go. And I'm like, well, I guess I can just kind of look at it now. And then, then I'm like, all right. So it shipped Friday morning, and I'm like, or it was at first it said it was shipping Thursday. And then it'd be a Friday. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I'm not gonna have time Thursday to play it anyways. So I'll at least get all set up. And then Friday, it doesn't actually, I'm like Thursday night, I'm looking, I'm like, it's still not out. Like not even left this, it's still showing label created. I'm like, okay, that's not good.
Right.
And then I get the thing on Friday saying shipped. And then I'm like, all right. Then it said it'd be here between 8 and noon on Saturday. I'm like, okay, not a major ordeal. I'll just wait. And then all of a sudden I get an update on today, Saturday, as I'm recording this. Get an update a little bit later, 2 to 6. Okay, all right, that sucks, but all right, whatever. And then I get another thing, 7. I'm like, all right, okay. And then finally at 8:45 on Saturday night, it delivered. So and we're recording at 10:30 at night. So I had literally an hour and a half to play my fucking game to get this ugly ass fucking cart. This fucking box. This box is ugly. Gables, I swear to God that Nintendo made the physical fucking packaging of the Switch 2 games as ugly as possible just so you buy digital. Because
you know what? At this point, I would not disagree with you on that.
It's just too much red, and because this is coming from a ginger, it's just too much red. I take Gables, honestly, this thing is very small, but it might have more red on it than my entire body.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Anyways,
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that visual. But anyways, yeah, no, I got it all set up. I did play a little bit of before, while I was waiting, I was like, I want to download. I wanted Mario Kart to be when you get a console, it's I want I want to break this thing in, but I want to break it in with the best game. I want to play Mario Kart with it. When it's same when I got my PS5 or I got the Switch 1 or whatever. When you get that new console, you want I want the big game to play with it. I don't want just
Yep.
I got the Switch 2. I'm like, I don't want to fucking just play some of these old games. I'm like, well, I want to try out Pokemon Violet and stuff on there. So I re-downloaded Pokemon Violet. I did ended up just kind of I was watching Day of the Devs and stuff and Wholesome Direct in the background while I was doing it. And I just kind of ended up running around for an hour, just catching Pokemon and battling and stuff. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the game still looks like shit, but it runs at a solid 60 frames per second. So I was but I'm like, oh man, this is kind of nice, Gables. I'm maybe a little more excited for Pokemon Legends later this year. And then I played Super Smash Brothers, and people it looks nicer for sure. There's a slight visual upgrade. I'm not gonna say a gigantic one, but I mean the game already was borderline perfect to begin with as far as 60 frames per second and stuff. But I ended up playing that for an hour and a half. I'm like, oh my god, Smash is so good. Gables, newsflash, Smash is really, really good. I don't know if you know that. But yeah, it was kind of the only thing that was kind of annoying was trying to figure out, because I bought both fighter passes and stuff. And I was trying to figure out how to because they did that weird virtual cart thing, and I'm like, all right. So I re-downloaded the game, and I was just It kind of made it more difficult. Like I thought when I re-download the game, it would just re-download all the DLC, but it doesn't do that. You have to like
Right.
go in and like go into another thing and then re-download. So I don't know, but yeah. I mean, overall, I mean, Gables. Before we jump into Mario Kart talk, I mean, base impressions of just the console itself. How you feeling about it?
Well, my initial impressions of the Switch 2 from the times I've had to play with it, I've had some pretty positive experiences with it. Obviously, I have my Switch 2 right here. I managed to find a case. I managed to find a Micro Express SD card, which both are kind of hard to find at this moment in time online. But yeah, I really love the screen of this thing. I mean, it's so big. It's kind of like the biggest, like the same as like a Steam Deck, pretty much from what it
Mm,
looks like, to where it's just like a giant screen. It feels fairly nice in my hands, and the thing about me is like I can't hold like a lot of handheld games like systems like I used to, because after a certain period of time and stuff, my fingers kind of go numb a little bit because of like I
mm.
have to grab them and grip them and stuff.
We're getting
But
old.
everything else, it's so fine with this console. It's the Joy Cons. They're super easy just to go through and like snap back into place and stuff.
Yeah,
And I'm really liking the kickstand in the back. The kickstand in the back and stuff is so large in comparison to say like the original Switch, where it's just like a little nub that would just you just kick it out, stand on the stand. Whereas mine is we're just a Switch 2. You just get like the little kickstand is like near the size of the actual console, and I can just set it down at this point, just like look at stuff or play a
yeah,
little bit of stuff. But the layout's pretty much the same as the Switch One, only maybe a little bit faster in terms of loading, especially when it comes to the eShop stuff. You go on the eShop, it's pretty much kind of similar to the whole thing they have with the Switch One. A little bit of faster loading things with pages and this and that. I mean, it's not a substantial upgrade and stuff. And I'll tell you what, there is no way in hell I'm trying to freaking like the whole the game chat thing on the Switch 2 and everything else, because it's like there's so many other better alternatives. I mean, I could do Discord, I could do PlayStation party chat and stuff, and that would be infinitely better. The Xbox party chat, I mean, quintessentially, you're playing this game not just for just using everything like Nintendo oriented and stuff. Like, I'm not getting the fucking camera for this thing. I'm
no,
not going to play with party chat or anything else because that's stupid when there's so many other better alternatives. But from what I've had to try so far, the Switch Online stuff for the GameCube, it isn't bad. I did have a chance to play a little bit of Soul Calibur 2. That was one of my personal favorites in the GameCube way back in the day. Played a little bit as Link and stuff. Nothing too bad. There's some slight input delay for it, but it's not going to be as noticeable unless you try to play it online, which I didn't try playing things online with Soul Calibur 2, but I've heard it's pretty bad in
oh
terms
really?
for like fighting game standards.
Okay,
Like this I'm not sure if it's with the connection issues or something like that. From what I've heard, it's kind of similar to that of like Soul Calibur 2 online, to where the online for that wasn't as great, like say for 360 and other stuff. It's because of no rollback and stuff, and also no
yeah,
like quality of life changes for online stuff. And it just seems like kind of a bare minimum that Nintendo put into it, from what I understand. I hadn't tried it myself, but I've heard about some impressions.
yeah,
But otherwise, though, yeah, it's pretty good so
yeah.
far.
Yeah, like I mean, I did like mess around, go in the store, and it was like so nice. It's just like jumping in, like you get immediately get in the store, and it runs so fast, like
Mhm.
it runs so much more smoothly. Like I mean, it's like the same issue. I remember like the last like year of the PS4, I was like getting so mad about like I couldn't even like just like trying to pre-order a game was just like a hassle and a struggle. And I was like just getting a
Right,
PS5. Honestly, I was just more excited for like things like this thing. A doesn't sound like a jet engine, and also like I can just do things. It like it doesn't like sometimes it just doesn't work and like or it takes forever for things to happen. Like I've been very vocal about like I've been sick of playing my Switch for a few years now. Gables has heard me complaining for years
right.
now about this thing, and it's like it's where I was like, even talking to like my best friend Justin, and like he's a gigantic Nintendo fan, and he's just like he got his Thursday morning as well, and it was just like he's like this is like the least excited he was like saying the least excited he's ever been for a console, and it's like I think it's one of those things where it's like almost like with like the PS5 and the Xbox Series thing, where it's just like it's just kind of more. It's just like more of the same. It's like getting a like I got like a new iPhone a few months ago, and I got like the most recent one after having like like the one for 3 years. And I was like, I'm not really like it's not exciting getting one. I'm just like, but like I look forward to like cool, my battery isn't going to be dead in 3 hours. And like everything just runs smoother and faster. It's like I think that's kind of what I think that's where a lot of the excitement is, because it's like this massively different thing where like nowadays like the online gaming is just so good. Like, we're not really
Yeah.
getting new features. It's just like, hey, like the things are gonna run better and they're gonna look nicer, and like it's weird thing. Like most people, that's kind of what we want. So it's like there's a trade off here. Like we're not gonna get a lot of cool, exciting new features, but like hey, like like you've been trying to like, get on the C shop for a while now. Like yeah, it doesn't run great. If like I have a launch switch and that thing has been like doing like a humming noise that's been driving me nuts for a few years now. So it's like yeah, it's just exciting to like have this thing, and like yeah, I mean also like yeah, the games are gorgeous on it. It looks beautiful. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing of like I'm yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I guess it's like the closest like I'll get to like I'm not a PC gamer, but it's like maybe the closest we get to like just getting a new graphics card type of thing is like that's essentially what getting a new console at this point is. Have you tried the mouse stuff at all? I have not.
I have not tried anything mouse related for this system yet. I
Okay.
mean, quite honestly, though, I forgot the actual feature existed.
Mm,
So it's just
yeah.
not something that I've actually done off the cuff.
Yeah. I mean either. But yeah, I guess
As far as like excite,
go
well, I
go.
would say though, just a little bit briefly, as far as excitement goes, the only thing I could really say for me is like the only thing I was really excited to do is like just play the new Mario Kart and
Yeah.
also just play the GameCube stuff, and that was it.
Yeah. So I mean we can go ahead and jump into that. Like so I mean Gables who would have thought that we are in year 12 of doing this podcast. And by the way, like, follow, subscribe. Gables yeah, so Gables and I've been doing this for over 12 years now. We started in this in May of 2013. And Gables'
Yes, we
game
did.
of the year and our second year of doing this was Mario Kart 8. Who would have thought
Yes, it was.
over a decade later that you would be just now be getting the sequel to your 2014 game of the year? So, I mean, you've obviously had you've had obviously more time to play this thing. But you're the you're a lot bigger. I enjoy Mario Kart quite a bit, but like you're definitely a much bigger fan than I am. So tell me how you feel about it.
Yes. Honestly, I've been loving it so far. The game visuals and stuff look stunning. The courses themselves look fairly creative as well. I mean, it's like one of those things where everything just looks so bright and luscious and stuff because of the up rendering and stuff in the 4K and like the aspects of the courses and stuff. I haven't really delved into too much in terms of finding different secrets and alternative things for like doing things for the tracks. But however, I'm loving the character selection so far. How it's structured is you go to a certain circuit. If you go and start off the 50cc first, it starts unlocking certain characters on your screen, so you don't have all the characters accessed available all at once. I kind of like it that way because it makes you want to play other characters first instead of just sticking to one or two.
Mm.
Um, as far as far as like free roam stuff, I haven't done too many of that. I've just delved headfirst into the Grand Prix. And so I've gotten most of the what was it? I got like most of the most of the 50 like CC circuit and stuff like that going
Okay.
through, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't blast anything. I just
Yeah.
was double checking my own Switch 2 here because I got Mario Kart World here like running, and I'm also trying the mouse feature of the thing too, which what's kind of funny? The mouse stuff works fine, but the most hilarious part about it is it just feels like just it's skinny mouse where you're just moving like a piece of cardboard like this,
Yeah.
that, this, that.
Well, I know like some people are saying it's better when with the mouse is better if you put the little slide things on them that come with the console.
Oh yeah, that's right. The slide things.
Yeah.
I kind of need to get those back out of the
Mine
box.
are
So
still sitting in
that
the
makes a
bag in
lot
the
of
box.
sense. But yeah, from what I've initially liked, I've loved how the game has looked. I love the variety of characters so far. I haven't gone through every single course, but I've liked the most of what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
But what were your overall thoughts so far from playing Mario Kart?
I mean, it's really good. Like, I think kind of maybe some of my problems is like, I was kind of surprised. Like, you just kind of get into the game, and there's like no like,
Hmm.
they don't really like, hey, like check out. There's like no tutorial to like, hey, check out the new features. Like the grinding or like the free roam. Like I took me a minute to figure out how to get to free roam because it's not like an option. Like when it's not one
Hmm.
of the options. Like it is funny. Like you look at like that main menu, it's like almost virtually the same. It's pretty much virtually the same as the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe menu.
Yep.
But like in order to start free roam, you have to hit the minus button. And what's cool is like you hit the minus button and whatever's going on in the background, it just drops you in there, which is cool. But it's like why like it was so like that's like the big thing they were really talking about in this. Like I'm just like surprised is like just kind of like almost like a background thing. Like literally it's a background thing. But like and also like the big like adding the grinding and stuff like that to this game. And it's just like I kind of wish there was like a thing like jump in like because like I just jumped right in. I started a Grand Prix. I did the first one like Mario Circuit or whatever I think it's called the first one. And jumped into it. And I totally forgot grinding was a thing. And I just started racing like I normally would. And like all of a sudden I just see the characters grinding. I'm like, oh fuck yeah. And I'm like, I'm trying to like jump and like I'm just bumping into the walls. I'm doing 50cc, and like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do I do this? So and like there is a like you go in there, there's like a little tutorial thing, but like I kind of wish there was like just like a little like almost like you can like jump it. Maybe there is. I'm like, just not seeing it. But like I kind of wish there was like a thing I could just jump into and like let me like just try it and like figure out like okay how do I like do the flip to get up onto the thing like instead of like like I don't know I kind of wish they like maybe it's weird from Nintendo. Usually they're like a little too handholdy at times, and this is like all right, well here you go. And then but yeah like I thought the first Grand Prix mode was awesome, especially the last I like how it's like basically it's just almost like one long stretch. Like you're not just sitting still once you get like you're already driving when the race starts, which is cool. I love the last level of that where it's just basically just Donkey Kong 94 level, and like it's just like a revamped music and stuff like that. And like one of the second one was oh my god, what's the song from Jump Up Superstar? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's from Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, there was like a kind of a revamped version of that, like an orchestral version of that on the second race, and then like it was like a revamp like. The song at the end on the last one, like the Donkey Kong level, was like really cool. The music is like top notch on this. So I've been really excited about that. I did do a knockout race online actually. I did a couple of those. The first one I was like, dude, that game, that mode. I honestly I think this could be like the killer app for this game. Of like, this could be like the big thing of like people that like to play with people and play with friends and stuff like that. Is so much fun, like so hectic and like because like I'm not like a great Mario Kart player. Or I used to be really good at it, but like I definitely say those skills have dropped quite a bit since there's been a new Mario Kart in the last like a new one in like the last decade. Anyways, like with this though, it's like I don't use a lot of those items like when you're in the back. I'm so used to like usually being like pretty close to the front. So it's been pretty hectic of like there was 24 characters and like you're just like I'm like just getting shit and like learning the I'm getting all these like weapons I'm not used to or like getting the boomerang or like what the fuck is it? Or like getting the blue. I got the blue shell. Like I don't know how many times I've ever got the blue shell in my life. Not many. And I'm like, holy shit. But like it's also really cool like the strategy people are having where like are just like how long do you want to hold for? Like people like I had one guy that was like he like it was like get to like 16th and like I was like 18th. I was like 18th place, but it was like neck and neck. And then this guy unloaded like just in front of me unloaded a bunch of like he had 3 red shells and unloaded them right before the like where it goes down to 16. Knocked those guys down, like knocked a bunch of guys down, and then we bumped in like we got to like 12th or 13th, and like right there, like right at the end and stuff. Yeah, it's like a ton of fun. Like at one point, like one of the laps I was doing, we were getting towards the end. I think we're like in the last 8, and the guy in first place had 3 red shells. So we were all like racing each other and like, but nobody wanted to be in second place. So like you could see the person in front of you like slowing down. Like, I don't want to get fucked up. So it was like this weird strategy of like, all right, someone's got to take the bullet. So like we were all like kind of fighting with each other. And eventually like someone hit with the like, hit them with the blue shell and like they lost all their shit. But it was like, it's been a ton of fun. Like I got 3rd place my first one. I'm like, oh my God, like it's intense, dude. Like I was like into it, like leaned, like the whole, like you leaned forward in the chair and you're like, oh my God, like this is nuts. And the second time I did not do as well. I think I got like, I was like, I don't know, it was like 16th or 17th place I got knocked out in. But that is a ton of fun. Like that is something like I could definitely see like you can get some friends playing together with, or like getting a party together online and playing. That would be a ton of fun. But like I did some free roaming. I did it for like a half an hour. It's fine. I'm not like loving it. I'm not completely sold on it. Like it is fine. It's just kind of like it's like I don't know. Like I was like, okay, this is kind of a cool thing, but it's just kind of empty. Like you're just literally driving around the tracks. They're all just tied together, And like it is cool. Like you can pull up the map, and you can kind of like fast travel between areas and like jump between different characters. I do like all the costumes you can get, but like I don't know, like you just like randomly find like just drive around. You can find coins. There's like I don't know, like I don't know what I expected out of it, but like it just feels like when you play an open world game, there's just nothing around. There's nowhere like it's like if you played Forza Horizon and there was no other cars on the track and like there was no other like people around. Like you're just driving around these empty areas with like nothing to do. Like I kind of wish like there was like you can like just get into like races with other people. Like maybe like I know there's like you can find the little the P buttons and like they'll start challenges, but they're just kind of like randomly spread out throughout the area. There's like hidden stickers you can find. There's stuff in there to do, but it's like I don't know. It's not like there's nothing like really like all right guiding you to the next area It's just like I'm just driving around, and it's like I don't know. I did it for like a half an hour, and I'm like maybe I could see myself. I might jump and like play it some more when I have some time, and maybe I'll just like play it for like an hour or two and see if like it clicks with me a little bit more. But like I don't know. So far, I would say like it's not impressive, and it kind of sucks to find out that you can't do it like multiplayer. It's only single player. Like because that's like the fun of it. It's like if you can do like almost like a Burnout Paradise thing, like we did 20 years ago on 360. Like there's just like that is not that's just a thing you can't do in this. So like that kind of sucks. So that'd be fun. Like if you can get like 4 friends online together and just like drive around and like I don't know, just do dumb shit with each other. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff. I do love like I was looking at like I unlocked like I was playing as Waluigi and I unlocked like a vampire costume and it's called Wampire, which honestly got an audible laugh out of me. The truck in the game is called the Charging Truck, which got a very good laugh out of me as well. Very funny, like very punny game, and I enjoy the puns. But yeah, I don't know, like it's really good so far. I like it a lot. I can't wait to play more of it. But like I said, I literally had like I don't know a little over an hour to play this thing. So, but yeah, so far like I don't know, it's weird. Like it's just kind of like it's kind of like talking about last week where it's like. I think personally, like, Mario Kart is like obviously the biggest game they can launch this thing with. But I think personally, like, I think I would have been more excited for the Donkey Kong at launch than the Mario Kart at launch.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the same way. And I also understand why they released this game first is because this is the system seller. This is the stuff that will get a ton of people going through buy the system at launch because of how successful Mario Kart 8 was.
Mm.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was because of the whole pack-in stuff for every holiday season, it felt like. But there really wasn't too much of a reason not to release Donkey Kong around the same time. Because I think regardless of, like, how that could have played as a role, it wouldn't have cannibalized the sale of the other. You're going to have both of these great games out in the same point, and not a lot of people are going to be picking up every single third-party game alongside of their Switch 2. They're just going to have enough to get their Switch in one game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
like,
interesting.
And Welcome Tour is like a 2-hour long thing, so it's like I don't know, like maybe not even like put it out day and date like with the launch, but like I kind of wish maybe it was a couple weeks earlier, a couple weeks sooner, because just like I feel like this Mario Kart, I'm gonna play Mario Kart for I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna put a decent amount of time into it, but like after a couple weeks, I'm gonna be playing it like slowly less and less, and instead of me playing it like most days, I'll be playing it maybe once a week for like a little bit, but like once I finish up the Grand Prix and stuff like that, and I don't feel like I'm gonna be playing it a ton more like. For a while. So it's like I'm worried. Like, cool. I'm like I got this new console, but then I'm gonna be sitting here for like a month waiting for Donkey Kong, and then who knows how long after that because we don't know when like obviously there's probably gonna be a direct here soon. But speaking of directs and state of plays and all that stuff, we've had a couple this week, Gables, and it's funny. Like usually I always get really excited for these. And I look forward to these. And then PlayStation on Tuesday just announced, hey, it's state of play on Wednesday, and I was just like, God damn it. Like, there's just too much going on. Like, I thought someone had a really good, because we've heard a lot of people, we even talk about, like, this doesn't feel like a ton of buzz for Summer Game Fest or even for this, like, the new console. Like, so I thought someone brought up a good point of, like, it's like, there's not that there's not buzz. There's just so much going on in the gaming world right now that everything just kind of spread out. Instead of just, like, looking forward to, like, one big thing, there's just a lot of big things happening right now. So I think that maybe that's what it is as well. Is like, there's just so much, there's just a lot of things taking up the oxygen in the room right now. But I mean, once it started, once I got closer and like I finally sat down and start watching it, I got really excited for it. But usually we go like game by game, but there's just like obviously with Summer Game Fest, and then we have Xbox tomorrow as of recording this, and then with Switch 2 launching, we're instead of doing that, we're just gonna run through like some of the big stuff and the things we're most excited for. So Gables, What were some of the major things like out of like the state of play that you personally came away from like loving or like looking forward to or kind of caught your eye a little bit?
Okay, so what really caught my eye, one was the the confirmation that Pragmata was real,
Right?
right? Because we hadn't seen any hide or hair of that game ever since the first initial introductory trailer
Well,
years
no, we
ago
got
at
a we
this
got a
point.
we got one. I think it was like 2021. It was the last
Okay.
E3 Gables. We had things saying it was delayed to 2022, and that's the last we've heard of
Yes.
it in 4 years.
And you want to know what's interesting is after that little blur from the last E3 ever,
Yeah.
here it is front and center, teased by Capcom, and I didn't even know this was Pragmata at first, up until all of a sudden I see the little girl and stuff, and with the accent, I'm like, oh my god, this is Pragmata.
Mm-hmm.
And the best, and no, the interesting part about it is it actually looks rather interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it
To
looks.
me, it looked sort of interesting.
Yeah, like I definitely I want to see more of it, but it's definitely like okay, like I like the gameplay we got of it. Like I'm like I want to see more of how like the everything works with it. I know I'm not big on like Capcom like like really heavy shooter games, but like I don't know. This could be like I don't know. I'm kind of like depending on the systems of this, it's like this could be a cool little game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, alongside Pragmata, I really like the whole aspect of the Final Fantasy Tactics stuff, the Ivalice Chronicles, that initial thing where you could switch through the remade stuff, the modern, like the classic stuff. I did like that idea. I've played little bits of Final Fantasy Tactics, like on and off and stuff, but was really waiting for them just to go back to the well with the original Final Fantasy Tactics, and yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Silent Hill F, holy
Yes.
crap, dude, that game looks crazy, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Those games. Final Fantasy Tactics coming out September 30th, and Silent Hill F coming out September 23rd.
That's the thing about it, man. I mean, for Silent Hill F, it looks like a grim masterpiece. That thing looks like it has a lot of love and a lot of time put into it, and the atmosphere looks so like
Mm-hmm.
foreboding, moody. You play as a schoolgirl, just like trying to make sure her friends, just trying to find her friends along the way. It seems like the trailer is sort of like aimed for there's like this one friend that's kind of spiteful against you and this and that.
Yeah.
It just seems like it just seems like a it just really seems like this is well within the realm of the whole Silent Hill universe stuff. It kind of gave me a little bit of tones of like the original Silent Hill in some points, but at the same time though, I really am looking forward to how much this game progresses
Mm.
come launch time and stuff. Really looking forward to reading a lot of the reviews of it too, because
Yeah.
people were kind of lukewarm of the Silent Hill 2 remake because of some other things that came up before it. But once I had a chance to try it and stuff, even though I did play a couple hours, I really did enjoy what I was playing.
Yeah. I love that game. Yeah, I was blown away by that. So yeah, I'm looking forward
But
to Silent Hill F is definitely like I heard a lot of people seem to kind of look lukewarm on that trailer for Silent Hill F, and I was shocked because I was like I thought this looked really good. Like I don't it's definitely a thing of like I want like I kind of need Konami to prove this to me a little bit still. You know, we're in that prove it
yeah,
point still with Konami, but like it's I don't know if I'm gonna like pre-order this thing, but I'm definitely like if reviews come out and it's solid, kind of like Silent Hill 2. Like I was like I'm gonna wait to see what people are saying about this thing. And then as soon as reviews came out and they were excellent, I'm like, okay, well, I'm buying this thing.
yeah, I'm not really too sure about critiques about the trailer of Silent Hill F. I mean, there really wasn't anything too like controversial or anything else about it.
Yeah,
Maybe people were just expecting a little bit more
yeah,
from the initial showcase and stuff, which you know what, that's understandable. I mean, there's huge Silent Hill fans that want the best thing possible for their initial game
yeah.
stuff to be released.
Well, I
But
wonder if too if like Silent Hill 2 was like closer to like a Resident Evil game than like a sound like there was like a lot more action in that game than you know than like you know a base like general set Silent Hill games. And this definitely looks more like a Silent Hill game that we know. So I'm wondering if maybe that's part of it. So I don't really know though, but I thought it looked excellent. So
but the last thing that really impressed me was the Marvel Token Fighting Souls. That came
yes,
out of nowhere. That
that's
last
awesome.
thing, that was so crazy. I see Arc System works. I'm like, okay, this is a fighting game. What's going on here? And all of a sudden, I see the outlines of Captain America's shield as well as Iron Man, And as soon as they flash into the gameplay, it's like, oh my god, this is a 2D fighter style game with cel shaded graphics. This is a Marvel fighting game inside of almost the classic Marvel fighting game style with the whole Marvel vs. Capcom stuff, but it's quintessentially a Guilty Gear kind of styled Marvel fighting game. But the thing is, it's not 2v2, it's not 3v3 like a tag system like that. It's a chaotic 4v4. So they're going very ambitious with this fighting game system. And the thing about it, it's so chaotic and it looks so fun just to delve into. They showcased like about 8 characters, I want to say, for this one. It's kind of like the people that you would expect. I mean, there's Star-Lord there from Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Captain America, you have Iron Man, you have Doctor Doom and stuff. But
Storm, I think,
you
was Storm
have
in
like
there?
Miss Marvel. What's that?
Was Storm one of them?
Storm? Yeah, Storm, I believe, was one of them as
Okay.
well. So you have Miss Marvel, you have Storm and stuff. And the thing about it is, like, it's not just the game looked good, like, cosmetically, but it felt like a lot of the gameplay stuff was kind of how kind of like how Arc System Works has worked on games like Dragon Ball Fighters and Guilty Gear Strive, to where everything looked silky smooth, everything looked like it was chaotic in terms of the technicality stuff you could do at that point. Like you were fighting as, say, Captain America, and all of a sudden you would tag into your assist and stuff to do one this move, and then another assist would go through, and then all of a sudden the last character would go and just finish them off. I'm like, this and the thing about it is there is different types of options to where you could just have one character and 3 assists, or you could just have 4 separate characters like tag and stuff. The options of this already seem fairly promising. I'm really excited to see how this game is going to perform when it releases next year. They tout it
Yeah.
as like a 2026 release. I'm thinking that this possibly could be like a late summer, probably like early fall type of game. That's just my guess, but at the same point, they're just doing a lot of fine polishing now, it seems like. Try to do a little bit more testing. I hope they do like some sort of beta test or something like that for the multiplayer, because that would be freaking awesome just to get your hands on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the big stuff. I mean, obviously the smaller stuff I did like was the new levels for Astrobot, because
Yes.
honestly, a lot of those speed courses and stuff are fairly fun. I haven't gone back yet to go and tackle a lot of them, but with new characters, new little sin secrets and stuff, that was pretty fun. Luminous Arise,
Yes,
the way the
dude.
state of play, the way that the state of play starts, and all of a sudden you have this music game. I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is kind of weird. I mean, what kind of music game is this? And all of a sudden, I started seeing the moving platform stuff like that. I was like, oh wow, this is Luminous,
Yeah.
and it looks so beautiful. It looked fairly like cool. It just a lot of the musical track stuff, and it just instantly transfers me back to when I started playing like Luminous Electronic Symphony on the Vita, or little bits of the remade Luminous stuff. I think on the PS4, I want to say, or the Switch. I forget which.
Was it on
But
Vita or one or PSP?
yes, yes, it was on PSP at one point. There was a version of Luminous, and then Electronic Symphony was on Vita. And I know that either the PS3 or the PS4 had a version of it. I'm not sure.
It's like enhanced or whatever. There was like a remastered one, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was already
Okay.
that. So called Enhanced.
Yeah. I've
But
never.
the final small thing I want to touch upon briefly was there was a Mortal Kombat collection from
Yes,
the same
Digital
people that
Eclipse.
did, yeah, from Digital Eclipse, the first Turtles Revenge and stuff, and the Cowabunga collection. Both games I've been fucking playing a hell of a lot. But dude, roll that netcode for the classic MK games, dude. I mean, I've only played little bits of like say Mortal Kombat 2 and that's it though, but having all of those classic games like from Mortal Kombat 1, like 2, like 3, Ultimate 3 and 4,
They
and
have like
plus
Game
they
Gear
even
and Game Boy.
include, I know, like a bunch of these different games where okay, well, they may not be as big as like say their console counterparts, the arcade counterparts, but having a complete collection of all that history of games on side of one collection, that's something I've been waiting for just so I can get my hands and try to really delve into. Because truly, my experience with Mortal Kombat is basically with Mortal Kombat 10 and like playing a little bit of Mortal Kombat 2, and that's it. And yeah, 10 was awesome. 10 was absolutely awesome in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. But yeah, no,
So, what were your big takeaways, Tyler?
I mean, just kind of like touch upon like you touched upon the major stuff that like yeah, like Luminous Rise, like that looks fan. I've never played a Luminous game, but like
Mm.
I love the design of that. The music was phenomenal. Like I'm not a big like Tetris type of games are usually not for me. But I feel like I think this is gonna be a game I'm gonna definitely check out because I like I said, I just the visuals of it and the music alone. I was like, okay, I want to at least try this out. Like just to jump back onto Mortal Kombat though, like man, like I'm someone like I grew up loving Mortal Kombat. Like I had a Super Nintendo when I was a kid growing up, and like that. So I played like I didn't play a ton of the original Mortal Kombat. I played a lot of. I had 2 and 3 growing up. So like the majority of my Mortal Kombat playing days was the Game Boy version. So when I saw that had like a pop for me. I'm like, oh my god, I totally forgot this even existed. Like I remember playing that. It was not a great port. It was missing a bunch of characters, and I played a ton of it though. And like I never could beat it though. I was not that good. But I was also like 7, 8 years old playing that game. And then they have like the arcade one. I'm honestly like I want to just buy it and just watch the documentary, because I want to like that's the stuff that I want to see more about. Like I love that shit. So that looked really cool. I mean, like I said, you touched upon like the Marvel stuff. I love the Marvel. I don't know if we like 100% know how it's supposed to be pronounced, Token or Token. I'm not sure, but anyways, I love the art design of it. I love like the way like they kind of like they almost make like Iron Man like look like just like very anime style. Where he has like the little little V thing on his head, like a boomerang like thing on his head.
He just looks like a giant mech.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That was really cool. Spider-Man was another character we saw. That's right. But and Venom, I think Venom was in that too.
Spider-Man and Venom, I think.
Yeah. So I was blown away by that. They announced a fighting stick, which was pretty cool for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, which is cool because like it makes more sense now because they announced the fighting stick after they revealed Mortal Kombat. So that was kind of a cool like oh okay like all ties back in together. So I like that. A few other things that were announced that we didn't really touch upon, like bigger stuff. There's a Ghost of Yotei state of play in July. Grasshoppers manufacturer announced their new game Romeo as a dead man, which looks pretty cool. I always like appreciate the design and like what they go for, but their games are always pretty bad to like mid, and it's like the hardcore fans, even though like they like. It's like yeah they love them, but they like most of them like it's like yeah this game is not good, but we love the design of it and looking at it, like it looks really cool. And like I don't know, it's the first time I've been like actually I'm like oh, I kind of want to play this game. I actually want to check out and play. And then last 2 things here. 007 First Light looks fucking awesome. It's definitely like a Tyler game, third person action game. Definitely feels like this might be the closest we've got to an Uncharted game in a long time. And like it's come from a IO studio, which is just they're phenomenal like with the Hitman game. So it definitely like you can kind of see some of the gameplay parts. It definitely looks like a Hitman game in some parts, but like I thought it looks excellent. And like I'm not like a super fan of 007, but I've always been like I was always a big fan of like the movies growing up, and I've really loved the last handful we've gotten. So I'm excited for this one. And last but not least, here we got like a little tease for Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Online, which is interesting.
Yeah, we did.
There. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm curious how that's what that's gonna be, and like if that like how that's gonna work. I don't know if I want to actually because I remember that like back in the day like it wasn't that good and like it didn't last very long. So I'm curious like what exactly they're going to do with it, or like how much like I don't know. It's very weird they're bringing that back. Potentially.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I mean, I never had a chance really to play the online portion of it. I knew that it existed, but since this was like pre 2006 or something like that, I did not have any access to go through and try it out like with like a phone check or something to my PS2.
yeah, because I had I didn't play Metal Gear Solid 3 until years later on Xbox when they had that Substance version come out. It was like 2004 or 5, I want to say. So that's why I played it on, and so I remember playing a little bit, and I was like, all right, I never really put a lot of time into it. Like same thing with Metal Gear Solid 4 online.
Right.
I think I played it like 1 or 2 games, and I never played it again after that. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good state of play. Like I was not like it's definitely like state of plays you never know. It's just a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And it's like some of these like the problem with sometimes these state of plays is like sometimes they are like it's not like when you watch a Nintendo Direct you don't know what it could be, where it could just be this gigantic thing or it could be nothing. But I thought overall it was a decent state of play. So I said at the time when I did a live react to it, by the way, if you want to go back and check that out, like, follow, subscribe. If you're on, let's do us on podcast services, please go check us out on YouTube. There's a link down below. Right there at the top of the show. Gables walked away right as I was transitioning to the next topic here, but we're gonna jump into it. We're just gonna go ahead and jump into it because I'm out of things to say on this one. But also we had I guess real quick though, I am planning on doing a live react to the Xbox showcase. I'm gonna do this at the top of the show. We just got right into the Switch 2, and Gables threw me off when he started talking about being outside in his underwear. I will be doing a live react. Gables will maybe join me on Sunday. With this is going up Sunday morning, so probably by the time you're hearing this, it's already happened. But check us out. If you're listening to us in podcast services, check us out on YouTube. There's usually some extra content that goes up there every so often. But yeah, I plan on doing a live react to the Xbox showcase on Sunday, and that should be going up sometime after that. I'm not gonna do it like live on YouTube. I'll record it myself and then post it later. So, and then I might do like a little mini podcast that night. I don't know. It's gonna depend because Xbox showcase being on Sunday and I had to be up early for work on Monday. We will figure it out. Then also Gables and I have a 2-hour time. I'm 2 hours ahead of Gables, so it makes it a little more difficult. And then Gables has obviously a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, he had to walk away for a moment to help somebody out. So that is the plan. We'll, at the very least, there will be a live react with me in it. Hopefully Gables is able to join me. If not, I'll at least, excuse me, I'll be there for that. I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, let's move on to kind of the other thing that happened this week. That is the Summer Game Fest that happened on Friday. I do like the fact they moved it to Friday. They always done it on Thursdays, and I'm never been like, I don't know, it's just weird on a Thursday. And I don't know, whatever. Just being I guess an adult and having a full-time job, it's just weird watching this thing and stuff. But I think they made it a little bit later as well, so it was nice. And like, I don't know, I didn't have to like. I stayed off the internet and I was watching. Stay with the State of Play. I did live react. Stay off the internet for that one. I did stay off the internet for this one, and I thought it was an okay show. I would say it was good, not great. It's definitely one of those things where like when you watch it live, it's kind of the issue you have sometimes with these things where it's like, because you never know what you're gonna get out of these things because it's just like it's not like this isn't an individual studio. This isn't like a console maker like this. They literally could have anything. Like they could have nothing. They can have everything. And we've definitely seen this with Game Awards. We've seen this with Summer Game Fest, Gamescom, stuff like that. With Jeff Keighley's show, where it's like he said himself, your show's only as good as the games you can get, and he can't he can only he can't get everything he wants. So I thought the show was, it's one of those things where like sometimes with these shows, because they're so long and there could just be a bunch of stuff in there that like there could be like oh, this show wasn't very good, but then you go back and like maybe rewatch it or just pick out some of the trailers of the things you liked and like, oh my god, there was a lot of stuff in this I liked actually. Like this is actually pretty good. This is actually like when you pick out like, okay, yeah, sure, like there might have been like a 20-minute thing here where like I was just kind of like, I'm like, I don't care about any of these things, or it might be a stretch here, but like I feel like if you came out of the show and you found nothing, like I don't understand, like I don't think you like video games, because there was a lot, like if you're coming for this to find like all the AAA games, you want the next big thing from all the big studios, like this is not the show for you. Obviously some years maybe he has it, some years he doesn't, but like man, I thought this was a, like once you look it down on paper and like kind of rewatch some of these going back and kind of rewatch some of these trailers again, I'm like man, this, like there's a lot of good stuff in here. It definitely, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff like I'm like I don't care about a lot of these, like there's a lot of online games I'm like these are not for me. There's a lot of like anime based games I'm like these are not for me. But like once I looked down, I started writing down the stuff I was looking forward to personally. I was like, hell yeah, this is actually a really good show. I was trying to kill time until Gables got back, but he is still gone. So we're gonna just jump into kind of some of the things I was most excited for, and then Gables can. I'll try to save the stuff that maybe we're both mutually looking forward to. I think the big thing, maybe the second biggest thing for me that I came out as I loved was Mixtape. Mixtape was announced last year at the Xbox showcase. They did announce it's coming. They're still planning on putting it out this year. That is coming to Game Pass day one. It is a Tyler game of just like a bunch of teenagers like growing up and going through life, and it's just kind of very real, and it's just like it's like these group of kids, but it's in the 80s. Like, there's a really great soundtrack. I love the art design. Like just going around like this town, and like it's their last day before they're basically adults, and it's just like them doing like one last big thing. It looked like there was like they're TPing in the house, like skateboarding down the street, like just hanging out in the room. It's like, man, like so many like people, like I think every kid, like went through that. I don't know, something about just like everything about like the art design, the look of it, the music, all that. They're like, man, this is like exactly like someone like me that loves like Life is Strange, or like some like, I mean, it's not maybe a supernatural as like Life is Strange, but like just games of that ilk. And I was like, man, this looks like a game I'm gonna love. And I'm hoping that tomorrow at the Xbox showcase that maybe we get that release date, because it does come to Game Pass day one. So they said this year, they didn't put like a timeline on it, like fall or summer or whatever. So I'm hoping we get a date for that one. Man, like, what if it's a shadow drop? But anyways, yeah, that looks fucking amazing. Next up, this next game looks kind of cool. Blighted. This is from Drinkbox Studios. They made like Severed and Guacamelee and Nobody Saves the World, which I like Guacamelee quite a bit. Never played the second one. Severed was a game I thought was pretty cool. I played it back in the day on 3DS. I remember I told my best friend Justin about it, and he bought it on Wii U, and he was like blown away by it. He loved that game. I think it made like his top 10 that year for Game of the Year. And then Nobody Saves the World was a pretty cool game. I played a decent chunk of when it came. I think it was like a Game Pass game as well. I played a good chunk of it, and I kind of just fell off after a while. But I liked it. Like Blighted looks like no, I just love the design of what they do, and I love the game. Like it's kind of like a top down, almost like Hades, but not a roguelike. Like more like a dungeon crawler, I guess. I guess is what Hades actually is. But Diablo like maybe, I don't know. But I really like the art design. Like I love the some of the enemies you're fighting. Like definitely looks like a cool like a dungeon crawler style game. The only thing maybe I'm a little concerned about is like the game, just like the way your character moves, the movement seems a little slow. So like that's the one thing that I'm just like, okay, I don't know how much how like that might be a breaking part for me, is like I'm like, all right, I like everything about this looks incredible. Like I'm always down for like just jumping into one of those type of games and just like grind away. Like those games, like I can just kind of like, I'm not big into like Diablo and stuff like that, but these kind of like more arcadey like ones like these, like I can usually kind of just jump into and really get into it. Like I put a bunch of time into Hades earlier this year. I just kind of vibe out, put on a podcast, and just like grind out some levels and stuff like that. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. I don't think we got a release time like even a year for that one, but yeah, I'm down for that one. Next up, another game called, I believe, Ill all caps. That is Munfish is making that one. The Atomic Heart people, which I gotta point out, I played a few hours of Atomic Heart and I did not like the game at all. It was very funny though. They announced Atomic Heart 2, but they called it a spiritual successor to the first game, which is very funny when they call it Atomic Hearts 2. But anyways, I believe Munfish is publishing this game. That was that weird, like creepy kind of game where like you have a shotgun and like there's all these like weird like creatures that are like bald and like kind of tall and kind of reminds me of the creatures like in the laboratory in Resident Evil 4. If people know what that means, they'll totally get it. But then like they have like the little tiny dudes running around. You can like kick them and shit. Like you can like shotgun off their arms, or they pick up like weapons, stuff like that. I think like it look kind of cool. It's definitely like, it definitely caught my eye, and I'm like, all right, I want to. It's one of those things where like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, okay, this looks really cool, but I'm like, all right, there's something off about this thing. I guess in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, I want to know more about this thing. Next up here for me, Mina the Hollower getting a release date from Yacht Club Games, the Shovel Knight people. Like, I played a good chunk of Shovel Knight, because remember when I bought my Wii U, like in like 2014. Like it's kind of the same thing. I bought Wii U when with Mario Kart 8 when that came out. It's very funny, like almost kind of ties in together all these years later. But I remember like buying it and I was like, okay, like Shovel Knight. I think it was like the next game I bought with it with my console was Shovel Knight. And I played a good chunk of it, but I was just like wasn't very good at that game. So like I eventually fell off of it. But like man, this game was great. I'm just not good at it. So I did not play. I didn't finish it, but like man, I wanted to. I actually really like that game. So like me and the Hollow just looks incredible. Looks awesome. I love it. It's like reminds you. It's basically like their like version of like a of a like if Shovel Knight was like their love letter to like 2D platformers of the back in the day and like Castlevania and stuff like that. This is like their love letter to like 2D top down Zelda games like Link to the Past, stuff like that. But like man, it looks phenomenal. This I just hope it's not like as hard as like Shovel Knight was, or like maybe it's a little easier for someone like me that's just like not very good at games, but like loves playing video games, obviously. But yeah, I man, like that, man, that's gonna be a day one, October 31st. That is gonna be a day one buy. But it's like it's funny though, like I was looking at like after like the State of Play after Summer Game Fest, where I'm just like, man, like I was like, I keep like a note in my notepads on my phone and the notepad app. I have a note just for like gaming releases and like keep track of like games are pre-ordered and like release dates and stuff like that because like I have trouble remembering things like that, especially as I get older. So like, and I was just like I was looking at like my list like a few days ago. I'm like, man, it's kind of like there's a decent amount of games come out this year, but it's not like loaded. Like, and like going into this, I'm like coming out of this, like we haven't even got the Xbox yet, and I was like, and we haven't got the Nintendo Direct yet to put dates on all these games to announce. I'm like, oh my god, like this thing quickly filled out. Where like I was like games we didn't even talk about with the state of play, like Hero Gami, like that game looks incredible. Baby Steps, and then Everybody's Golf, like 3 games all coming out, I believe, in the first week of September, the same week. And I'm like, I want to play all 3 of these. There's like Sword of the Sea is like coming out in August. I'm like, that's a game I want to check out. Like, I look at like a bunch of like indie games that are like on this. I watch like Day of the Devs, watching that. There's a bunch of like games on there that I'm like wholesome games, stuff like women led games, like all the like. There's like, oh man, there's like a bunch of games. I just like my wish list on Steam got much longer, and then like just getting release dates to some of these games I didn't even know existed. Or like, I'm like, oh my god, like these like so many great games that like I can't wait from this that looked awesome. So yeah, like completely blown away by some of these like just like man, I think Jeff Keighley, like when you started off the showcase, you really started pushing like how like indie games are doing really well on Steam. I'm like that kind of like almost like set the tone of like, hey, these like smaller games can like live like they can go toe to toe with like the big games out there, you know. And it's like yeah, I'm like, okay, like maybe he doesn't have the big like major announcements for this year. So and like that, I'm like, okay, like once you get through this thing, you start looking at the list. I'm like, okay, like he had a decent amount. Like he had like was it Stranger Than Heaven, the RGG Studios next big game, was there. But like with Street Fighter 6, they announced like the year 3 character pass, which was really cool. They had the Kenny Omega commercial. I'm a huge AEW fan, huge Kenny Omega fan, so that was cool to see him there. I was honestly, I'm like, oh fuck, when like he started like dressing up as like Street Fighter 6 characters, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna put Kenny Omega in fucking Street Fighter, and now I'm gonna have to buy Street Fighter and buy this fucking battle pass just to play as Kenny Omega. And I was gonna do it. I was totally ready to do it, and then he's not in it now. So that was a big bummer for me. I was like, god damn it, like I'm not a Street Fighter guy whatsoever. Like I actually bought Street Fighter 6 a while ago when it was like on the cheap, and I'm like played for a couple hours. I'm like, I don't like this. Like I got rid of it. So yeah, this is definitely not a thing for me. Another thing though, like that came away from this one, felt that boxing. That's that weird puppet game that like I can't like this. I don't. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Like it's like it is breaking my brain looking at this thing. I'm like, I can't believe this is a video game. This looks real. Like this looks like almost like this looks like something like someone made a puppet show. And this is supposed to be a fucking video game. I can't like it's Punch Out with puppets, and it is astonishing just how cool this game looks. I cannot wait. Like I thought the trailer was excellent. I was completely blown away by it. Like I'm like, oh my god, like this is awesome. This is incredible. It's so cool. Like I think this is made Unreal Engine 5. It's so cool now. Like I think what we're starting to see, like we're starting to see, and what we're gonna see, with like even like these smaller teams. Like I know like Jeff Keighley kept saying like this is made by one person, but it was like there's a weird one where he's like this is made by one person and 9 of his friends. I'm like what? Like or like even like talked about like Clear Square. This is this team of like studio of 30 people. It's like yes, but it's not just 30 people worked on it. Anyways, I thought that was really weird, but like it is like still these are like very small teams compared to like these other like major studios out there, and it's just incredible like what the Unreal Engine 5 and just like what like these smaller studios can do, like nowadays with like like a fraction of the budget. Like some of these really creative things that like would never happen at like any like at an Xbox, a PlayStation, Nintendo, Ubisoft, a Capcom, you name it. Like some of these things would just never happen. Maybe like was it? I think is it Capcom that's doing the Hirogami game? I guess Capcom might do some like they're down to do some weird shit. There's that game last year they did that weird I can't remember the RTS style game they put out last year. That came to Game Pass. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I man, it's so cool. I thought that game that felt that boxing just like I cannot like I don't know if that game's gonna be any good, but at least I'm gonna buy that game day one just because I gotta experience that game because I just love cool shit and like it's just cool like like I love like the next big AAA game from Naughty Dog or the next big Nintendo game. I love all those big things as well. But man, like it's like some of the cool shit is just coming from from it's like I guess it's been that case for a long time now, but it's just like it's cool to see like just some of the cool shit coming from these small studios. And it's like, I mean, obviously, like I think widely considered like maybe like the game of the year so far is Clair Obscur. So it's just like incredible like what these people can do with like a fraction of the people and the budget. And it's just like, man, they can pull off some incredible shit with just like I said, with a fraction of what these big studios are able to put out. And that's no disrespect to the big studios because I love their games as well. But it's just Anyways, just continue to be blown away by that. Gables is still gone. It's been like 15 minutes. I'm starting to get concerned. But anyways, I guess we'll jump in. If we have to double up on some stuff here, we'll have to double up on some stuff. Hopefully he's back here in a few minutes. The big thing, obviously, for the show, the one last thing was Resident Evil 9 Requiem. That's out February 27th. I mean, we've been hearing a lot of buzz about this. It seemed like it was a pretty much a sure thing this was going to be announced this week. And I was like, once the state of play was announced, I'm like, okay, like I think every Resident Evil game since the Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 7, back in like I think that was 2016, I think E3, every Resident Evil game has been announced, and I think pretty much almost all Capcom games have pretty much been revealed at PlayStation events. So it's pretty shocking to see this. I think actually Monster Hunter Wilds might have been at Game Awards. But anyways, like man, like it's so funny. Like I know like I'm probably not the only person I saw this, but like just I played so much like so many Resident Evil games. You just seen a lot of Capcom games out there. Like they show their games off like every event. It seems like, especially like Monster Hunter Wilds, and it's like just seeing the hair physics of Grace in the cutscene where like she's like at working at the FBI office, and you just see her turn, and you can see like the hair physics. I was like, okay, this is a Capcom game. So like I kind of like almost immediately like I was like, okay, this, well, like that was very un-Capcom like of them, and like very really bad to like do that like weird Resident Evil thing in the middle of the show. And like I was like thinking about, cause I remember like Jeff did the same thing I think 2 years ago at I think it was Summer Game Fest again, where he did the same thing with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where he did like a tease thing for Final Fantasy VII earlier in the show, and then he did the one last thing of Rebirth. And that kind of went back to them like, okay, maybe they might still show it later on, like because like be here in a wink. And anyways, like getting into this, like some of that's like loving Resident Evil games way back in the day. Playing them, I remember playing as like a child, way too young, playing Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation 1. I remember like playing through Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games, like maybe one of the most important games to me ever on GameCube, playing through that game over and over again until I like 100%ed it. Like max out every single weapon, got all the clothing. I finally unlocked, the last thing I did was buy the infinite rocket launcher and then play the game one more time, only using the rocket launcher. But anyways, yeah, like man, I was blown away by this. I'm a little more confused about the timeline now, I guess, of Resident Evil. I've been that way really since the end of Village. Like I'm not gonna spoil too much of it, but like I believe if I remember correctly, Grace is Ethan Winter's daughter from Resident Evil 8. So now she's grown up now. So I'm kind of curious, like the timeline, like where are we at in the universe of Resident Evil? I don't want to spoil it. There's something that I guess I could kind of change the time of it, but I need to go back and like watch. I need to find like a lore video to explain shit. But like I like it's kind of cool. Like it's weird. Like all the way back in Resident Evil 2, like they dropped the nuke at was it 2 or 3? I can't remember now. Where they dropped the nuke on Raccoon City. It's just like I don't believe we've ever gone back to Raccoon City in a real way in Resident Evil since. And so it's pretty incredible to think like, okay, the rumors are this is going to be open world or open area. And the fact that like we're going back to like potentially decades later, Raccoon City after it's been nuked, it's just like incredible to me, like incredibly exciting to me. Like I am so excited to like figure out like, okay, what's going on here? How, like, what's out, like really like what's the rest of the world like? Like what it's like, we don't like, it's so weird. Like after like Resident Evil 6, where it's just like, you go to all these different environments, like all these different cities, and like all these, like everything's fucked up. Like, like 5, Africa's fucked up. 4, I don't remember, like Spain or something, it's all fucked up. Like, I don't know, like 7 and 8 are very like, more narrow in like the scope of it, where it's like, you're just like in one place, like obviously like 7, you're just in one house. 8, I guess like you're in like you're in literally a village. But like there's a lot more narrow than like what we've seen from other games, and it's like like what's the rest of what's going on? Like, so it seems like things kind of get back to normal if there's like an FBI and they're in an office. So like, are things like, did things kind of like get back to like a somewhat a normality or like a thing? I mean, obviously things are still fucked up with Raccoon City, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of curious about like, we don't really know like the rest of like the Resident Evil lore, I guess. And like, do they know? Does Capcom know? But I don't know. I thought that was really cool. I like as a one more thing, and like February 27th, getting a release date for that as well. That is like quickly like become like probably my most anticipated game for right now. I think we know about, especially something we know about with a date. Like I'm sure there's probably some stuff that's been announced years ago that we just don't, we haven't heard anything about for a long time now. But like, in the near future, that's definitely the thing I'm most excited for. The last few things here I have written down. Scott Pilgrim EX coming in 2026. That's coming from the Tribute Studio, I believe is the name of Tribute something. Same team that's also making the Marvel Cosmic Invasion side scroller beat 'em up games. I love those games. Gables is also a huge fan of those. I'm saving this for last because I'm hoping Gables will be back so we can talk about them. But yeah, I actually really like that Scott Pilgrim Brawler. I'm curious if like this is like a direct sequel to that or like. Seems like it's a direct sequel to like Scott Pilgrim, the comics and stuff like that. But looks awesome. I like the design of it. I like the music of it. Like it's cool that they actually got like the main writers back and stuff for this game as well. Like the music is great. Like taking place in Toronto. Seemed like a little crazier with that. I think they said there's gonna be 7 playable characters. And I think we only saw 3 or 2. I think it was just Ramona and Scott. And I'm assuming Knives will be one of them, and then maybe the rest of his like the band will probably be playable characters. I believe that's how it was in the first beat 'em up game they made in like 2010. I want to say, and then obviously Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I think that was revealed at the Game Awards last year, and that's got I think a holiday release window for that one. So like probably November, December. I wouldn't be shocked that it gets delayed to next year. But like that game looks incredible as well. We got 2 more characters. I think they said there's 7 that were revealed. Now we have 9 with She-Hulk and Rocket. I think they said there's gonna be 14 playable characters when it's all said and done. But like that's like Scott Pilgrim EX and Marvel Cosmic Invasion are just 2 games like I'm gonna buy those the second they come out. Like those games are gonna be day one buy, especially like that studio. I believe Emu is like the one to work on this as well. Like they just like everything they get their hands on are phenomenal. So yeah, I cannot wait for that. And then last but not least for me, hopefully Gables gets back here soon because I'm running out of things to talk about. I've been talking for over 20 minutes now without him around. Anyways, Wu-Tang Clan Rise of Wu-Tang Clan Rise of Deceiver. This is a game that's been like rumored for years now, and I just assumed was just dust at this point. That apparently there was I think Jeff Grubb had this where it's it was a game that was Xbox was making. And it's like a beat 'em up game. I think it said it's a co-op arcadey beat 'em up game. We've seen like a little bit of gameplay, like 5-6 seconds of gameplay. I think it's like present like I can't remember what the phrasing was, but like Ghostface Killer I believe is like the main character of this, or like at least you start off as, and then like his 8 brothers have been kidnapped, and he's going to like basically go get them back. So I'm wondering if like I'm wondering how that's gonna work out. Like eventually, like you break them out one by one, and like you can choose between characters. I don't know. I don't know how good this game is gonna be. I would not be shocked if this game is completely trash and garbage. But I am looking forward to this is gonna be another one of those like. Even if this game is like, I feel like if this game is just like a 7 out of 10, that's just a win. If this game is just good, not even great, just good. Like this game could be a ton of fun, like a really fun. Like I always talk about, there's many different types of 7 out of 10s. There's like the boring like 7 out of 10s. Like I've talked about, like Ghostwire Tokyo is a 7 out of 10, but it is a 7 out of 10. It is like, it's just a game that exists. And like, then I look at like Strangers of Paradise. Like that game is a 7 out of fucking 10. And that game is a ton of fun. And the game I'm going to remember for a long time. Gables is coming back now. All right. Gables.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, you're fine, man. You're fine.
Oh, yeah, just family stuff I had to take care of. But other than that, though, so you've just been pretty much covering the Summer's Games Fest stuff?
Yeah, so I was going through some of the stuff. I was trying to save the stuff that I think you'll for sure want to talk about. So I'm talking about.
Okay.
I talked about a little bit already, but I want to get your Scott Pilgrim EX.
Okay, so yeah, this actually goes into like some of the big stuff for me and stuff. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim EX, I absolutely was floored when they give a little bit of the tease, right? It's like it's in Toronto and this and that, just can come to it, and all of a sudden I'm like thinking, oh, okay, well, some of these character silhouettes and stuff are getting a little bit familiar, and all of a sudden I just see Ramona Flowers. Oh boy, this is a Scott Pilgrim game, and like fast into the gameplay, and it's the sequel to the one back in 2013. I'm like, oh geez, yeah. Yeah, man, I was super pumped about this because it looks like they got a whole bunch of like gaming references and stuff from like say Double Dragon and like oh my gosh, River City Ransom. Those are the two I actually noticed right off the bat and stuff. The Gymnasium, that's from the Gymnasium stuff can be a bit like River City Ransom and stuff, but there were some Double Dragon references inside of that initial trailer as well. And what's funny, it's like it's Scott Pilgrim and like Ramona Flowers and also five of their previous enemies or
Oh,
something like that from the first game
that's right. It's five
or
of the
something
X's are going to join you. That's what it is. Yeah.
that's really freaking hilarious though that it's by the same maker, and all of a sudden you have Automataguchi that's reprising their roles creating the soundtrack for the game too.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's even though like say that Summer's Games Fest stuff was very long-winded and all the other stuff, that was one of the few games which I thought was really awesome. But another one I really felt that was awesome that it just came out of nowhere for me was felt that boxing.
I talked about this. Dude, that
Dude,
game looks awesome, dude.
dude, dude, this game just surprised me out of nowhere because it's like you have these puppets. It just showcases these puppets and stuff, and like this puppet dude is getting trained and stuff like that. Oh, good man, yeah, you hairy sack of shit. Just
Yeah.
and then you flash forwards into the whole gameplay premise of it. It's basically a Muppets Punch Out game. And I'm
Yes.
like, that's what? This is the idea for Punch Out? And I absolutely love this. This is
Yeah.
so super freaking crazy. It takes a established game like kind of mechanic and stuff going through like the punch out sort of thing and it delves into the way where it feels like an actual realistic like just puppet like a Jim Henson production type of stuff to try to go into that, but it's the actual like graphics and the gameplay of the game itself
Yeah.
that was fairly impressive for me. The most obvious one, which I'm kind of feel like it was oh my God, the Street Fighter's 3, no, Street Fighter 6, the Season 3 stuff. That one was hilarious because I see Kenny Omega pop up. I was like, oh, is this another AEW game that I'm not aware
I
of?
got really
And
pumped for that. I thought that was the same thing. I thought the same thing.
I got I got a little bit excited about that up until he goes into his locker and stuff, and all of a sudden inside the reflection it's him dressed as Alex, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, what are they teasing here? I see Alex, and all of a sudden I see him look inside the mirror again, and he's dressed up like Crimson Viper, and then all of a sudden it's like panned out, and he's all full on in the dress like freaking Ingrid from like Capcom Fighting Evolution. I'm like, oh no, what are we getting here? And then all of a sudden the last one's for Sagat, and it just flashes him in cosplay for the character reveals for season 3 for Street Fighter 6. And I didn't know what to think about this, first of all. The second of all, only Kenny Omega could pull off dressing in drag and stuff like that and make it look
you know,
somewhat entertaining.
you knew he was having a time of his life with that. That's probably like dream come true for him.
He's working closely with Capcom for these characters, dude, and that's just what's hilarious about it. This dude absolutely loves video games. He loves fighting games. I mean, this is something that's no secret to anybody that's been following this dude for years. But oh my gosh, yeah, a long while ago. I mean, him and like some other AEW wrestlers were faced off against some WWE wrestlers instead of a Street Fighter stuff like Xavier Woods and like Kofi
Yeah.
Kingston, I think it was. And dude, I thought this was really funny, but the character reveals themselves. I like the idea Alex is coming back. Alex was one of my favorite characters to play in Street Fighter 3, and that's because he's mostly like a wrestler, like a brawler wrestler type of stuff with his whole power bombs and stuff and his friggin' multiple German suplex stuff. I like Crimson Viper. Crimson Viper is from Street Fighter 4. She has really cool acrobatic stuff. Sagat, Sagat, like almost every time that he's reintroduced to something, he's usually in the top tier in terms of like performance stuff. Street Fighter Five, not really as much. I mean, he was for a couple of seasons like one of the top like initial fighters and stuff, but it kind of waned a little bit with the introduction of like new characters and stuff. But the biggest question is for Ingrid. Ingrid is the main character for Capcom Fighting Evolution, and that fighting game itself is one of the worst in terms of Capcom fighting games. So them reprising Ingrid instead of this special character role is really interesting to kind of see. Like, what are they going to do to try to kind of revive this character so she's not as hated as like some of the FGC really has it out for her, and for good reason too. I mean, there's a reason why that character hasn't been introduced back like the past 20 years
Hmm.
up until like this year. But the last one, which really got me pumped, which as soon as I saw the wreckage of the police station RE2, I'm like, this is fucking Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 9 Requiem has me pumped, and this there was so many different ties that I just kind of got little glimpses of. Like they got a little bit of references back from Resident Evil 2. They got little like a reference from Resident Evil Outbreak, which the mother of the main girl that's in this game, that's her daughter and stuff, and the mother was from Resident Evil Outbreak as a character. So it's kind of tying in like certain aspects of the history of the previous characters for previous Resident Evil games and stuff. But just overall for this introduction sense, it kind of gave me a feel that it's going to be more for more kind of like how Resident Evil has been, to where it's like it's gonna be a bit of like the horror theme stuff, but there's gonna be a little bit of action stuff spread into it, kind of similar to what they've been doing for RE4 and also the remakes for 2 and 3.
Hmm.
It has me pumped just to see what else is gonna be coming for this stuff.
Yeah. One thing you didn't mention, I'm surprised, but Marvel Cosmic Invasion cables.
Oh yeah, that's actually that was one of a couple of different small stuff right there. Like I did this the whole Sonic Crossroads stuff for like Hatsune Miku and Joker. That was just little bits here and there. I just kind of want to just mention and just that because we haven't really seen too much gameplay of the Crossworld stuff for Sonic. But the other one was the Marvel comic Cosmic Invasion characters. I think early we got the characters thing switched up with Token Fighters because Spider-Man and Venom are actually inside of this game for Cosmic
Okay.
Invasion for
Well,
the
I know
beat 'em up.
Spider-Man is in the he was in the talking token, whatever the hell it's called. I do remember
Okay,
him in that.
I
He
don't know
did.
if you're sure if Venom was, but
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
Venom was.
Spider-Man, yeah, most
Okay.
definitely. Um, the reveals of She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon, they actually look fairly fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Rocket Raccoon has his multitude of weapons. She-Hulk has the absolute brute style and stuff, and just hucking rockets through different things.
Yeah. And that's the same team that's making Scott Pilgrim. So, and that's the team that did
I know,
Shredder's Revenge too. So it should be a great game.
I know. They're making two beat 'em ups. They're making two beat 'em ups, one for Scott Pilgrim and also one for freaking Marvel. And this is getting me so pumped just to play more beat 'em ups, dude. I never thought that in 2025 I'd be more excited to play beat 'em up games than I would of actual
Yeah.
AAA games.
It's nice. It's nice to see like it's like a nice revival of those style games. Really since like I mean they brought it back with Street Rage 4, so it's awesome to see that.
Yes, it did.
Like even like that Power Ranger one it was fine, but it's like we wouldn't have had that years ago. So it is cool to see that's coming back. But
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean overall, I mean out of 10 Gables, what would you give the State of Play? What would you give Summer Game Fest?
Okay. So for the state of play, I really did like what I did see for the state of play stuff. I would actually give it more like a this is one of the stronger state of plays I think we've had for quite a long while. I would give it like an 8.5
Yeah.
in terms of the overall appeal and the overall stuff. A lot of surprises, the pragmata stuff, the Marvel token, like fighting spirit stuff. Both of those things we would not have saw coming. I didn't see any of the additional leaks or any type of like spoiler stuff before even watching any of these shows.
Awesome.
Um, as far as that, yeah, it was like an 8.5 out of 10. The Summer's Games Fest, other than like the big stuff and like some little hints and stuff, this was too long. This was drawn out. There was a lot of there was like a lot of generic anime inspired games. There was some games that kind of looked like they were mostly like AI oriented and stuff.
Mm.
But there was just a lot of repeat stuff. You had a lot of roguelike stuff. I mean, the one by Drinkbox Studios kind of looked kind of interesting in
Blighted,
that
I talked about that.
retrospect.
I like that. I'm looking forward to
Blighted,
that one.
yeah, Blighted definitely looked interesting. That's something I also forgot to kind of pay mention to. But
Wu-Tang Gables? Wu-Tang?
otherwise, yeah. To tell you the truth, though, that was kind of funny seeing the Wu-Tang game and stuff, and like it's gonna be narrated by Ghostface Killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But overall, I kind of liked the Summers Games Fest stuff less than I did the Study to Play. I would actually gave that like about a 7 out of 10,
Yeah.
only because there were some things I really did like about the State of Play, but it was too long. There was way too many repeat games. I got bored like right in the middle of this thing, and it's like 3 hours of just having a bunch of stuff that maybe had my interest for about a couple minutes, but it really didn't hit until the later half of that Summer's Games Fest with the whole Capcom reveal stuff for Street Fighter 6 Season 3, for frigging Resident Evil 9 Requiem stuff. It pretty much wasn't until Capcom started doing more reveals in terms of what they're doing that it
Yeah.
started to become relatively interesting. And obviously the Scott Pilgrim stuff was fun, but I wouldn't call it terrible. I would just call it just too long, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
as memorable to me.
Yeah, I gave the State of Play a 9. And then I'd say Summer Game Fest, it's one of those things where like it was 2 hours of like, and you could definitely tell there wasn't, he didn't have a lot of the big stuff. He's talked about before. Your show is only as good as what you can get, and he can't get all the
Right.
best stuff. Everybody's got their own plans and stuff like that. This definitely was a year where he didn't have like a lot of big stuff, but it's definitely one of those, I talked about when you were gone, where like there was definitely lulls, especially in the middle. Like it started off pretty good, and then there was like a
Oh,
lull in
yeah.
the middle. And then like at the end, I feel like the first half an hour and the last half an hour just feel like really built up pretty well. But like it's definitely one of those things where like coming out of it, I was like, this is like go. And while it was going, I'm like, I don't know about this one. This feels kind of bad. And then like obviously it ended off really good. I'm like, oh man, maybe it was really good. And I'm like, then like later I'm like, it was okay, I guess. And then like it was like once I went through the list, I was like started typing out all the things. I'm like, man, there's like 10 games out of this. Like I want to check out. I'm actually looking forward to. So like it's one of those things like once you write it down on paper, it's just it's something of those things where like there's like it's like almost like Game Awards. Sometimes Game Awards has some lulls in there, and it's like, but once you like come away from it, and you kind of take a step back and you look at the list of what was there. I was like actually this is like a pretty good show. So I'd probably give like a 7.5 out of 10. Like I'm not saying I'm not gonna say it was like great at all, but I thought it was like definitely. But it's like one of the things he's Jeff Keighley talks about himself, where like he can't get all the best stuff he wants. Unfortunately, if he can get all the best stuff he would, he would do it if he could. But I don't know. It's one of those things where like like I said when you're gone, it's like, man, if you come away from this and you can't find anything you want, then you don't like video games. Because like there was I think in that, at least in that Summer Game Fest, there was something in there for everybody, and more than one. Like there was like anybody, man, you come away I think anybody that's a fan of gaming should come away from 3 or 4 games out of that they want to play.
Oh, dude, there was one aspect about that Summer's Games Fest that was really funny. And that was like the amount of times you saw clips of game reveals and stuff, and you had a lot of views of women's ass shots.
Yeah.
Or like just Ferris per guy with the shots. It was so funny because
it was very weird. I'm like, I get it. There's asses.
It was so funny because it was just out of the normal. This is something we would have been seeing over the past like couple of years and stuff, but it was just predominant front and center, and I thought it was just really hilarious. I wasn't offended or anything, but I just thought it was really hilarious. Like all of a sudden you have this big old like anime inspired game that's like all of a sudden giant ass shot.
Yeah.
Or hey, it's right between.
Yeah, there was like the one where it just like zoomed right in the girl's crotch. It was like, what?
I know.
Vagina bone.
I know. That was so funny. And it's kind of like what Maximilian Dew was saying on one of the streams. Like, yeah, all of a sudden it's going to go go right up the ass or something like that, right up the gooch or something like that, right in the taint. And like, what the fuck?
Well, there was that one game, Ill, where it was just a bunch of naked dudes running. A lot of peen in that one. A lot of peen.
So, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was just
it
funny.
It evened out. We got a lot of ass and vagina bones, and then we got some peen. So something there for everybody. You like small penises.
It was just one of the trends that went on the Summer's Games Fest that kind of made it a little bit more weird and oddly provocative, but at the same time, it's like just the cons of it just kind of stick out to me to where it was just long it was just overtly long. There were some aspects of it I thought were good, but yeah, it was just warranted like a 7 out of 10 for me.
yeah. Overall, like I'm still would rather have Summer Game Fest than not have it. Gives a spotlight because like there's a lot of like indie games, a lot of small games in here that we like something like felt that boxing like we never would have known about. Like that game probably could have just came out we never would have known about, or could have just kind of been a blip of the radar and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's so cool that we have this. Nice we get the spotlight on this. But yeah, it's like, oh, some years I don't know. It wasn't his worst year, it wasn't his best year either. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think overall, pretty fun shows at least this week. Nothing terrible.
Yes.
It's been a really crazy week. It's gonna keep getting crazier. Like I said, there's gonna be we'll be doing at the very least I will be there for an Xbox live react. If Gables is able to join me, he will. That should be going up on our YouTube channel. This podcast goes up Sunday morning. So if you're probably listening to this, it's probably already out there. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple, whatever, please go to our YouTube channel. There is a link in the description down below. If you're on YouTube, hey, subscribe, please. Like us on there. We're really pushing that one. Finally hit over 500 subscribers a couple months ago. So nice to get we get a little bit of momentum going on that after several years of just doing this for fun and stuff like that. So nice to see a little bit of a little feedback on that one. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much for checking us out. I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables. Until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun Phillips of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
And hey, Gables.
Yeah.
Wear fucking pants.
Well, I'm wearing it now. Should be glad about that. You're lucky I'm wearing these.
It's honestly, for all these years of doing this, I have Gables could just not be wearing pants in every episode, and I wouldn't have no idea.
It's like there'd be subtle clues. No.
Yeah. It's been Donald ducking this whole time.
Oh God. Well, anyway, see you guys.
Yeah. Bye, guys.